monitor and then remind you. Okay. So we are talking about y and x. I know no, for some of you, it may be difficult if I talk in terms of, the mathematical language or statistical language. But at the same time, slowly you have to become comfortable, right? So that's very, very important so that you can also climb as, as a Six Sigma expert, as a statistician. Slowly, I'll see to that you become a researcher, right? You will become a researcher. See here, y variable and x variable, the terminologies are described here. Y means output. Y is referred as the effect, and Y is a dependent variable. Why do I call it dependent variable? Because it depends on X variable. Depends on X variable. So coming on to the other side, X means input. You can call it factor. Sometimes we call it the cause or root cause or whatever. And mathematically, X is known as independent variable. Why do I call it independent? Because I can directly change it whenever required. According to my requirement, I can change it. But why? If I want to change the Y, I can't directly do it. Any changes in Y, I do it through X only. Hope all of you understand, right? And imagine there is a variation in Y, mathematically represented as del Y. So del Y is your intensity of pain. All of you understand? The pain is caused by del Y. We want to minimize this. So del Y, if a company is not monitoring the del Y, they are not making any attempt to control the del Y. That means customer satisfaction, business results, and the future of the company is a big question mark. Am I right? Because Y is a CTQ, isn't it? And you don't care about the CTQ. That means it is as good as not caring about the customer satisfaction. And coming on to the other side, del X. If del X means variations in the X. What is variation in the X? The quality of the incoming material, the condition of the machine, the skill level of the operator, the machine settings, all of them are input, right? And if there is so much variation in X, what is referred as del X, if company don't even monitors the X, variations in the X, it indicates, they developed poor habits. Am I right? If they're not checking the input parameters or the input factors, it means over time they have developed poor habits. Yes or no? Yes, Mr. Sumit, you want to ask something here? Yeah.
Dr. Kumar, I have a question over here. Now, if I can, if I keep my delta Y, okay, since I'm monitoring a process called delta Y, which is a resultant of an delta X, Y is a function of X. Can't I keep that Y as constant? Like I have set a standard that this is what I need. X, I need a certain standard of DPMO, or I need a certain standard of my service levels in a particular organization or a particular department, whatever it is. We can hypothetically say that I need 10 gems per pack every time and again. That is my delta Y. I mean, that's my Y. Y is a function of...
You're right. Our objective, you're right. Our objective is to keep the Y as stable as possible.
Yeah.
To keep the Y as constant as possible. But the problem is it happens only if you keep all the X stable, if you keep the X, constant. If you keep the X constant, yes, Y will be constant. This is mathematics.
No, I agree with it. This is mathematics, sir. But why delta? Why put a delta on the Y?
That's what I come to that. This is mathematics. In mathematics, if all X are constant, then Y will be constant. However, in real time, things will not work exactly as per the theory. Even though we aim to keep the X as constant, there will be some variation, yes or no?
Agreed.
So there will be some variation that can happen in our Y also, right? The variation can be minimal and variation can be, sometimes abnormal.
Relative.
But at the same time, our Y, we need to understand whether our Y is a measurable characteristics or a countable characteristics. In your example, it is a countable characteristics. You just wanted to see 10 chocolates, isn't it? You just wanted to understand whether 10 chocolates are there or not. But suppose if it is a measurable characteristics, let's say I'm concerned about the size of the chocolate or the weight of the chocolate. If I weigh each and every chocolate, will it be exactly same?
I doubt.
No.
The variation, see,
Technically, if I put a machine
variation,
onto it, you see, technically, if I start doing a process on the machine level, I'll be rather getting the entire, because the amount of chocolate, the liquid chocolate, and the sugar coating on that is all machine made. It's not human made. So I can get that as a
by
constant as well.
there is something known as natural variation, which we can't control. Like we
Agree.
simply think that every day we get 24 hours, but actually not.
It's 2399.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why the concept of leap year was introduced.
Yeah.
So little variation always will happen, and you will be able to capture that variation if you use a good measuring instrument to measure the characteristics. Unfortunately, counting is not a great way of measuring the characteristics. You might think that you are getting exactly same by seeing the numbers equaling to 10, but actually there can be a difference in size, there can be a difference in
Absolutely.
weight. All those things happen, and we are more worried about the measurable characteristics than the discrete characteristics.
So the
All
idea is
right.
on the CTQs then.
Yeah, idea is on the CTQ. See,
The idea
if
goes
the
on
if the
CTQ.
particular characteristics which you want to monitor, if you find a way to measure it using a measuring instrument, then all your predictions and interpretations can be more realistic.
Makes sense.
More
Makes
realistic.
sense.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
what happened? There will be some assumption. Just by seeing 10 chocolates, you think that all are same, but actually they are not same.
Yeah.
So that we don't want to, even give room for those assumptions. So we must change our way of measuring from counting to actually measuring using a very good measurement system.
Makes
Clear?
sense.
So that's
Thank
how
you
the
so
delta
much.
Y comes. Got it. So if delta Y is poorly monitored, poorly controlled, that indicates over time the company has developed poor habits. That means, they are operationally wrong. All right. So del Y, if del Y keeps on increasing, then the failures will also, will increase, will grow in numbers. Ultimately, the defects will happen, waste will happen, the risk levels will be very, very high. The future will be a big, big question mark. But coming on to the other side, similarly, if the del X also increases, that means the company is over time the developing, all wrong cultures, which is completely against continuous improvement. All right. So this is what we need to understand, while talking in terms of Y and X. Now, this can be applied, this understanding can be applied to any product, any service. All that required is, you must have a clear understanding of the customer requirement. You should also identify the right metrics which can help you understand your performance against each of the requirement. That is what we call it as CTQs. And it'll be very good if the CTQs are measurable CTQs. All right. See here, when I say coffee taste, every customer will expect the coffee to have a good taste. But when I use the word taste, the requirement is very, very broad. Am I right? It's not specific. So I break down the broader requirement into specific requirement. Tasty coffee means a good aroma. Tasty coffee means the desired level of strongness, desired level of sweetness, desired level of hotness. All of you agree with me? The combination is what is known as taste. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
one doubt.
Yeah,
Here
please.
hotness only measurable, correct?
Yeah, hotness is measurable, but if there is a requirement, you can develop instruments to measure the other things also possible. I will show.
Okay,
There are
okay,
instruments
okay,
which
okay,
can help you measure the strongness and these things, right?
okay, okay.
So here the point is the bigger Y is broken down to Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4. If the variable of interest is more really specific enough, then you can measure it better, and then you can also monitor it better, and so you can control it better, right? That is the idea. So some Y about the coffee is understood here, and some X were written here. I have ignored other X factor because I don't consider them as significant factor, like the kind of glass, kind of tumbler they use, the kind of chef they are using, and this are all, everything is a factor. But what I have written here is only significant factor. Can you see that, all of you? This is how you can be, efficient while conducting your study, right? But if you are doubtful, you may have to include all the factors and then proceed. Okay. And now similarly, another case, overweight. You are working on a project to reduce overweight. You want to reduce your weight. Now, this is the variable of interest. Now tell me, the way your own weight, is it measurable characteristics? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Measurable characteristics. And suppose if you have to measure, tell me, I want consistency in the measurement, right? Every day you have to measure the same manner. So, do you follow a specific procedure to measure your weight? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Can you tell me what kind of procedure we should follow when we are working on a weight reduction project? At what time I should measure my weight? Whenever I am free, can I measure?
No.
At one specific
No.
time.
No.
Specific time. At
No.
what time can I measure after lunch?
Empty stomach.
No.
Oh, empty stomach. So that means you want your readings to be free from bias. Yes. or no? You want your readings to be free from errors, isn't it?
Yes.
After lunch means, somebody will take a light lunch, somebody will take a heavy lunch, and then they will, make wrong claims. So we don't want to fall into all those, errorful activities. So a proper operational definition first must be written. You must write a proper operational definition. Maybe early morning, empty stomach, 7 a.m., light clothes. You understand? And the procedure must be followed every day so that your data will start speaking better about what's actually happening in your body. Isn't it?
Yes.
The effect that can come from wearing a heavy cloth and all those, we are not allowing. So that means we will be able to really understand the effect that can come from the significant factor. That is the point. Now coming on to the other side, the X variable. See here, the calorie consumption, dinner time, your physical activity, sleep hours, stress levels, all of them are significant factors in general. But for a particular individual, all of these need not be significant, isn't it? But one or two out of it might be significant. Let's consider dinner time. What do you think, according to your body? Do you think dinner time is significant to your weight?
I guess yes.
Yes. So if you are in doubt, you can actually conduct a study and then make a conclusion, which is good for your body. You already wanted to reduce your weight, but unfortunately, you take dinner after 10 p.m. only. All right. So you have enough data about the current status. Last 1 month data is available. Now, what you need to do is shift your dinner time from 10 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Continue doing this for 30 days. Now you will have 30 readings. Am I right? Earlier 30 readings, dinner time is 10 o'clock. I mean late dinner. Now early dinner. 7 o'clock we have 30 readings. So the first 30 readings, can you calculate an average? So your average weight, keeping the dinner time 10 o'clock is available. Similarly, average weight, keeping the dinner time 7 o'clock will also be available. Will there be a difference in the two averages? Will there be a difference in the two averages?
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
If
there will be.
yes, you must understand your body requires your dinner to be shifted. If there is no difference and the factor you suspected is not significant according to the person, for whom we conducted the study. All of you understand? That whether the difference is significant or not, it's a little more statistics you need to learn. I'll teach you a little later. There are some confidence interval, confidence limits, and all that you need to understand, and then you will come to a crystal clear clarity. So this is what we call it as hypothesis testing. We compare two scenarios with an intention of understanding whether a factor is significant, to our Y or not. If the difference is considerable, if the difference is significant, then we will declare the factor is significant. That means the factor is one of the root cause. Clear, all of you?
Yes.
Now moving ahead. And while studying, if you want to study multiple factors simultaneously, then you must create a table like this. Include all the factors which you want to study. And then for each of the factor, what is the current range of operation? or what is the range with which you want to conduct the investigation? That is known as range of investigation. That is known as range of investigation. Imagine you running a boiler with 700 to 1000 degrees Celsius. So the boiler temperature range of investigation is 700 to 1000, because below 700 you can't run. Above 1000 you can't run. Imagine a cutting tool. Cutting tool angle will be anywhere between 8 degree to 12 degree. So the range of investigation is 8 to 12. All of you are with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. But for any specific reason, you want to stretch out the range or you want to narrow down the range, that is up to you as a researcher. If you have a logic of doing it, yes, go ahead. And then you have to choose the levels. The levels can be as low as 2 and as high as 3 or 5. You can decide to keep minimum number of levels so that the number of experiments can come down. The cost associated with the experiments can come down, but you can prefer lower number of experiments only when the relationship is linear. All of you are with me?
Yes,
You
sir.
can reduce, you can go for the lower number of experiments only if the relationship is linear and stable. If the relationship is not linear, let me draw a non-linear line here for you. Why is this? Why am I telling this? I'll tell you. See here, if my relationship is linear, in order to draw the line, I only need 2 points, am I right?
Yes.
Just if I conduct experiment here, one experiment here, one experiment here, I know what will happen in between. Because I have a scale to draw it. But if my relationship is non-linear, if I perform experiment only here and here, just with the 2 points, I can't visualize this graph. Can you see that, all of you? So I necessarily require some center points. With the help of the center points, I can draw the profile and I can understand how my Y is moving as I make changes in the X. All of you are with me on this? So this is non-linear and this is linear. And these points are known as endpoints. However, these points are known as center points. You must include center points to study non-linear relationship. If you suspect only linear relationship, you don't have to include center points. You can conduct your experiment simply with endpoints. All of you understand? These are all only basics. At a basic level. If you understand, quite enough. Later on, we will deep dive. So like, see here, look at the result. You are able to reduce your weight. You reduced 15 kgs, maybe 3-4 months. And how many factors you worked on? You see here, how many factors? You worked on 3 factors because you found that these 3 are significant to your body weight. So X1 is calories, X2 is your dinner time, and X3 is your exercise or walking. And can you notice the changes you have made? What is your action taken here with respect to X2? Somebody tell me. 11 p.m. to 7 p.m. What is the action you have taken?
Eating time change.
Changing the
Yeah,
dinner time
you
to
shifted the
11.
dinner time from 11 p.m. to 7 p.m. The direction of shift you understood, isn't it? The earlier, the better, isn't it? So this is how we need to solve the problems with respect to our quality issues also. And Six Sigma recommends a very, very powerful methodology to tackle any kind of problem, no matter how big or how small the problem is. No matter how complex or how easier the problem is. The methodology can solve simple problems also, can solve even a complex problem. Even researchers can use this methodology. According to the methodology, the first phase is define. The methodology is DMAIC, DMAC. Define, measure, analyze, improve, control. Why define first? A problem well defined is half done. All of you agree with me? A problem well defined is half done. Why measure? If you can't measure, you can't monitor. If you can't monitor, you can't control. If you can't control, you can't improve. So measure is also very important. Agreed? Yes. Then we move on to analyze. Once we completed define and measure, we are now focusing on finding out the root causes. Root cause can be one, root cause can be many, right? And now our objective is not on the symptoms, but on the root causes. Root causes are nothing but significant factors. I already told you the meaning of significant factor. Significant factor means the factor has a significant effect on why. Moreover, in the current condition, the factor is under trouble. Since the factor is under trouble, your output is also under trouble. Clear, all of you? So you have to study about the root causes and validate the root cause. Validate means you have to be very, very sure before making changes and study the relationship, study the impact, how much impact each factor has got. Percentage, remember, percentage, and total percentage must be equated to 100%. Then only you can say you have identified all the root causes. There are statistical ways, procedure by which you can even understand which factor is affecting your result to a major extent. All right. So all these things should happen in the analyze, and then in the improve phase, we will think about the solution. Because we defined, measured, analyzed well, and now we are fit enough to think about the solution. We have all required pieces of information to talk about the solution, and that way we remain systematic. If we don't do all the previous steps, define, measure, analyze, straight away jump to the solution, please understand, we are following a trial and error approach. We are not remaining systematic. And once you generate the solution and gain the trust of the organization, I mean, all the parties were involved during the solution generation method, and everybody agrees, you can easily implement it. The moment you implement, the improve phase gets over. And then the next remaining task is sustaining the result. What can I do so that the same problem should not come again? All the knowledge gained during your define, measure, analyze, and improve should be passed on to the stakeholders of the process, particularly the process owner. You must hand over all the document. You must teach him what to do on a daily basis. You must teach him how to monitor all the X factors. All of you are with me?
Yes, sir.
This, whatever you teach that process owner and the stakeholder, that is known as control plan. That is known as control plan. And in addition to that, you can simply document and close the project and declare project closure. Do you understand why I'm saying, the methodology is very powerful? It can handle all kind of problem. It is not giving room for any error. Measurement error, we are, we are ruling out in the measure phase. Now, in define, the biggest challenging phase within the DMAC is define phase. Most of the time, people make mistake here in define phase. They don't define the problem properly, but still they wanted to get it solved. And that we all must be very, very careful, right? And when you say you have defined the problem, you should be able to express the problem or the pain using a single measurable metric. Then only you are considered to have understood the problem. Till the time you are not able to express your problem in the form of a number, trust me, you have not understood your problem. Till the time you are not able to express your problem using a single metric. Sometimes you may require a multiple metric. If there are multiple metrics you want to use, and nothing wrong in dealing with them separately. It can lead to multiple projects, and then your big problem will get solved. But we solve problems one by one. We improve metrics one by one. All of you are with me? The pain metric should be a real pain metric. The pain metric should be a real pain metric. And also you should use the right statistical tool. Do you want to work on the average, or do you want to work on the median, or do you want to work on something else? No, all of these things, will tell whether you are planning to travel in the right direction or not. And over and above, the scope must be defined properly in the define phase itself. Don't try to do everything in one project. You can always draw boundaries and try to work within the boundaries so that, you will have better control over your project. And then, you can deliver result. But definitely your result, are not valid if something wrong happens beyond the boundary of your project. So you can always, declare those things in a safer manner. And in the measure phase, we must ensure the project team use a proper measurement system so that you get an accurate estimate of the baseline. What is baseline? The current state of the pain metric. Baseline is nothing but the current state of the pain metric. You are saying overweight, overweight. So what is your current weight? That is known as baseline. And whatever weight you say, first of all, that should be accurate. You can't stand on a weighing machine that has no 10 kg error. That can give a bias of 10 kg, and that instrument is not going to help you reduce the weight of 5 kg because the instrument itself is having so much bias. So all of these things, you should be very, very careful. This is what is known as define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. All of you understand that methodology Six Sigma is recommending to work on process improvement project. All right, good. So this logic can be used to solve any problem with any product. Here the product is coffee. Look at your Y1, Y2, Y3. And one of you wanted to measure the strongness. You see here the strongness can be measured using a metric known as TDS. Sweetness can be measured using a metric known as Brix percentage. Hotness, of course, you can measure by directly measuring the temperature. And here are the instruments. You see here. Why the company has gone to this extent of developing some instrument and then measuring the strongness and sweetness? Because their bread and butter is coffee. They are selling coffee every single day, isn't it? They have coffee making machine all over India. For them, every coffee making machine should give the particular variant of coffee in a consistent taste. Yes or no?
Yes.
For that purpose, they developed all these instruments, and whenever things goes wrong, they will exactly find out which metric is getting affected. Whether Y1 is getting affected, Y2 is getting affected. Accordingly, they will calibrate the machine so that the machine will regain its condition and issue the tastiest coffee. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Problem solving becomes much easier if you introduce the right metric and find a way to measure those metrics, right? At the Y side as well as at the X side. And can we apply the same logic to this product? What is this product you are seeing here? A laddu. Do you
Laddu.
think laddu will also have CTQs, critical to quality characteristics?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you name few characteristics of a laddu which you expect as a customer?
Size, taste, and
Taste.
Again, taste is a broader term. Hereafter,
yeah.
you should always be specific enough.
Okay.
Size, I agree. Weight, I agree. Color, I agree.
Sugar syrup, sugar.
Sugar syrup comes on the right side, right? X.
Yes, yes.
Weight.
What is, you need to know your metric is on which side, Y or X,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
If anything with Y, yes, it will, it has something to do with the customer. Anything with the X, that is, under our control. So even the strength with which the bundis are getting attached to each other, that is also important, yes or no?
Yes.
Should not get bundi, correct?
Otherwise, what happens, the moment you pick up a laddu, it will immediately collapse. And then, customer experience will be spoiled. And you can't probably, sell your laddu to faraway places. You can only, sell it in your counter because it immediately collapses. So you need to understand your segment and you need to understand the customer requirement. Accordingly, you must ensure your product possesses those characteristics. In order to ensure our product has all those characteristics, we standardize things. Yes or no?
Yes.
Imagine you want to start a laddu business tomorrow. First of all, you will decide on the customer segment. Am I right? Would you like to sell, would you like to make and sell laddu within your state or throughout your city? There is a difference in the customer segment. Am I right?
Yes.
Within your street means you are targeting a small segment, but throughout your city means it's a bigger segment. It requires, your laddu to be transported to different places. Can you understand? New requirement comes. Your laddu should not collapse even during transportation. But if you want to sell within your street, there is no transportation. Am I correct? You need to understand this is known as customer focus. This is known as understanding your customer and their requirements. Having understood the requirement, having identified the CTQs, what will you do? you will try to have a standardized process so that anybody who runs your process will make the laddu as per your customer's requirement. Yes or no? Because you have a
Yes.
standard step-by-step procedure of making a laddu. Now this process is capable enough to process any raw material you require into an acceptable laddu. Yes or no? You buy sugar from ration shop also, but still what happens? Your laddu is acceptable by your customer. Do you understand? It is because of the quality of your process. Am I correct?
Okay.
And over and above, what you do is you train your people. You provide them some equipments. If I give equipments, manual error, can get eliminated to certain extent. Yes or no? If I
Yes.
expect a round shape by, by pressing it with the hand, do I get the exact round? No. But if I give a kind of some die, what happens? I get exact round. Even I don't have to inspect. That is the power of having some equipments and instrument in place. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So this is what we have been talking about right from the morning. We should focus on strengthening our process. If you strengthen the process, and definitely results are guaranteed. So process has got two parameters, effectiveness and efficiency. Effectiveness means ability to produce defect-free outputs. Efficiency means ability to consume resources in the needed quantities. Do you understand? Ability to consume resources in the exactly required resources. I mean, required quantities. It will never overconsume. So these concepts, Lean and Six Sigma, were introduced by two famous companies, Toyota, the Japanese company, which introduced Lean. Actually, Lean is the revised version of the system followed inside Toyota Production System. And these are the architects behind Toyota Production System, Eiji Toyota, Taichi Ono, Shigeo Shingo. And Taichi Ono is the one who introduced the concept of 7 waste, which we discussed in the morning. What is the acronym we discussed in the morning, 7 waste?
Remote.
Tim Wood. So he is known as father of Toyota production system. Father of Toyota production system. And actually these Japanese people, initially they learned the quality concepts, principles from quality gurus from America. Right? Because Americans were already brilliant, and particularly the Ford is an American-based company, right? America-based company. And in fact, the Toyota, they benchmarked many of the best practices from Ford, right? And later, the Japanese companies become a big headache to all the American companies. Learning from them, now they have become a big competition to the American companies. So to overcome the competition of the Japanese companies, Motorola, again an American company, they embarked on a new approach, which they named it as Six Sigma. The ultimate objective is to overcome competition, especially from the Japanese companies. They named this method. It's a statistical method, actually. You could easily understand, the why statistics comes. See here, this person, Dr. Michael Harry, he is actually a statistician. He worked for Motorola. And this is Bill Smith. He is an engineer, right? And this is Robert Bob Galvin, the CEO of Motorola. The combination of engineering brain and statistical brain actually gave birth to the concept of Six Sigma. You know why they named it as Six Sigma? I'll tell you. Listen to me very carefully. Any process will have a certain amount of natural variation. All of you agree with me? Any
Yes.
process will have a certain amount of natural variation, which always exists. If it is
Yes.
under good control, then less variation will exist. If it is in bad control, then more variation will exist. But always variation will exist. You can't say it will be always a constant. No, it's not possible. Right? And the beauty is, so any process, I will also show you how a process will look like. No, it will look like this. Can you see a inverted bell here? Can you see an inverted bell? Any process will normally, look like this. And this kind of bell shape is known as normal distribution. Why is it named as normal distribution? It happens normally. Say, for example, I collect all your height data right now. The bell curve will come automatically. What could be the average height of all the participants here? 5.5 feet. Am I right? Average height of all the participants here, because you represent Indian population. Age group somewhere around 30 to 55. Am I right?
Yes.
So average height is 5.5. Average indicates center of my process. Always the curve will be taller in the center. Always the curve will be taller in the center, because many of the data points naturally will be close to the center. Yes or no? If I ask people who are having the height around 5.5 feet to come on video, you can easily see many people coming on video. Am I right? I think I am also falling in that range only. All of you, you are actually following me, because I'm not getting any response.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And a few people might be far away from the average. Let's say I want to see people who have a height of more than 6.25 feet. What do you think? How many people have a height of 6.25 and above? One or two only. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, I want to see people having a height of 4.75 and less. One or two. Rarely somebody will join my program. But majority having a 5.5 feet only will join my program. This is what I have been seeing throughout several years. Believable, right? All these things, the beauty is all these things happen naturally. I am not selecting participants based on height. Yes or no?
Yes.
They're all just paying and coming. But I see certain things happening naturally, normally. That is why it is known as normal distribution. Right? And according to your data, if you find out the maximum point, this is maximum. And also the minimum point. The difference is known as spread of the process. Am I right?
Yes.
The difference is known as spread of the process. If the spread is more, it indicates the variation is more. If the spread is less, it indicates the variation is less. Clear, all of you?
Clear.
Yes.
In order to understand the spread of any process, one statistics you can use is range. What is the statistics you can use? Range. What is the formula to calculate range?
Maximum minus minimum.
Very simple formula.
Maximum.
But there is a drawback in using this formula. You know, the drawback is, even though we have hundreds of data, we are only using maximum and minimum. Can you see the biased behavior here? Even though we have so many data points, we are only using endpoints, not the intermediate points. So range is not a good indicator of spread. All of you, please make it a point. You should use the range only if you are lagging, if you lag in terms of the data. If you have sufficient data, don't use range. You must use a statistics known as sigma. You know what is sigma? All of you have studied in the school, 7th standard. You remember? Your max
Standard
teacher would have
deviation.
taught you. Yeah, your
Standard-
max teacher would have taught you.
Standard
The
deviation.
formula is summation of x minus x bar. The deviation is squared divided by n minus 1 and then taken a square root. This is known as standard deviation. You will be surprised to see the spread will always equal to 6 sigma. This will also happen naturally. The spread will be equal to 6 sigma. That means if you have sufficient data, more or less, the range will be equal to 6 sigma. That is why, range and standard deviation are equated. Many times we use a formula, standard deviation equal to R bar by D2. Because range and standard deviation, they have a connection. They have a relationship within them. So what is the spread of any process? Tell me.
6 sigma.
6 sigma. That is why they named the approach as 6 sigma. Now let me show you a process. One first process and another process, second process. And as far as the center is concerned, x1 bar and x2 bar are same. Do you understand what I'm saying? The average for the first process, average for the second process, both are same. But for the first process, the spread is small. Can you see that? For the second process, the spread is large. Now tell me which process is good. Your average wise acceptable. Now tell me which process is good for you.
Second
The
process.
Next one.
The one with lower width.
one with the lower spread.
Yes.
Because it gives you consistently, no, it gives you consistent result. Yes or no? And now if I have to write down the spread of the first process, it is 6 times sigma 1.
6 times sigma 1.
But for the second process, 6 times sigma 2. Do you understand? So what do we understand here? Any process will have a spread equal to 6 times standard deviation. Now, what is the challenge in any business? Customer always have a requirement, yes or no? Customer
Yes.
always have a requirement. If it is measurable, you can exactly write down the tolerable limits of your customer. You see here, I am writing the tolerable limit. When I write LSL, what does it mean?
Lower specification limit.
Limit.
Oh, lower specification. That means you are not allowed to go beyond the
Beyond
lower
that.
spec. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Similarly, upper spec means you are not allowed to go above the upper spec. That means customer expect your whole process to operate inside the specification limits. Am I right?
Right.
Right.
Now, in this scenario, I have my process 2. I have my process 1, both operating completely inside the spec. Given a chance, which process you will choose?
Both.
P1
Obviously
or
6 times 1.
P1.
obviously P1.
P1.
You know why? It not only hits the target. Target is always believed to be the midpoint of the specification limits. Target is always believed to be the midpoint of the specification limits. But if you have a different opinion, yes, we can change accordingly. But most of the cases, the target is believed to be midpoint of the specification. And both the process are hitting the target. The center of both the process are hitting the target exactly. Can you see that, all of you? Your
Yes.
X1 and X2 are hitting the target. That means you want to hit the bullseye. You are holding the gun in the correct direction. That is the primary requirement, yes or no, if you want to hit the bullseye. But after holding the gun correctly, you must release the bullet consistently in the correct direction. Whether you are releasing the bullet consistently in the correct direction, that is the big challenge, isn't it? Because what happened? Automatically your fingers will shake. Yes or no? Imagine, the shooters in Olympic. They have to control their nerves, isn't it? So much audience, juries, and they have to hit right on the target. So definitely, no, they have to control several things. People who control better, they will have a lower spread. People who cannot control better, they will have a higher spread. Even though both process meets the customer requirement, in my opinion, the process 1 is much better. You know why am I saying much better? Customer has given me this much tolerance. You see here. This is the tolerance given by my customer, which is USL minus LSL. But how much my first process consumed it? How much my first process consumed it? Can you see here? A smaller value. Am I right? That means your salary is 2 lakh, but your monthly expense is only 20,000 rupees. Are you running a healthier process now?
Yes.
Yes.
You are definitely running a healthier process. You are not even consuming 10% of your earnings. Similarly, your process is consuming less of the tolerance. If the process consumes only half of the tolerance provided by the customer, the process is considered to be doubly capable. All of you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Process is considered to be doubly capable. Why? Because it consumes only half of the tolerance given by the customer. Upper spec, lower spec. Upper spec, lower spec. Imagine process like this. Now what this process did? This process has consumed everything. Can you see that? The maximum should be given a special name now, upper control limit. Minimum should be given a special name, lower control limit. My control limits are now overlapping with specification limits. Please note, control limits are natural limits of your process. Control limits are natural limits of your process. By birth, all of you are getting this height. Am I right? They're all not decided by you, but they are natural limits. Very good. Upper control limit and lower control limit. And this length between upper control limit and lower control limit is known as process spread, which is 6 sigma. And what is this length? The tolerance given by the customer, which is USL minus LSL. Yes or no? This process just made it. Am I right? This is just a capable process. This is just a capable process. When I draw a line at the center will be center of the process, nothing but average of your data. And here is the target. Here is the target. And this process is considered to be a just capable process. A just capable process is nothing but 3 sigma process. All of you understand? A just capable process means 3 sigma. What is the scenario? Your salary is 2 lakhs. Your expense is how much?
20,000.
1 lakh. 1 lakh.
Your expense also 2 lakhs.
2 lakhs.
Your salary is 2 lakhs. Expense also 2 lakhs. You are not really running a healthier scenario. Yes or no? Not running a healthier process. Spending all the money earned is not a good habit. Am I right? So 3 sigma process is not, enough. All of you agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
So we need a better capability. Better capability means you can't change the customer. Customer already has the decided requirement. Now, what is in your control is your process. Develop a new process. Look at the spread now. Now the spread is, it's a new process, sigma 2. Anyway, that will also have 6 sigma 2. But 6 sigma 2 is half of 6 sigma 1. Do you understand? Sigma 2 is half of sigma 1. Can you understand the improvement now? Variation
Yes.
is reduced to a great extent. Now your salary is 2 lakhs, but your expense is how much?
1 lakh.
Only 1 lakh. You still have remaining 1 lakh. If you want to go for a party tomorrow, yes, you can immediately start. Nothing will go wrong. Yes or no? This is known as doubly capable process. Doubly capable process are known as 6 sigma process. Understood?
Okay.
There are 2 things I have taught you here. Any process will have a natural tolerance of 6 sigma. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And that 6 sigma is also known as spread of the process. If the spread of the process is half of the tolerance given by the customer, is equal to half of the tolerance. If the spread of the process is equal to half of the given by the customer, and if the process is centered on the target, you can call the process as 6 sigma process, right? So don't worry, we will again revisit all of these things and develop quite a good understanding on all of these things. But what I want you to know is 6 sigma evolved from a company, American company known as Motorola. Lean evolved from a Japanese company known as Toyota, right? And Lean got introduced, Toyota production system got introduced around 1960. And 6 sigma got introduced around 1980. 2000 onwards, they got integrated. Nowadays, everywhere the implementation is integrated implementation. They go hand in hand. Implementing Lean will leverage the results of 6 sigma. Implementing 6 sigma will leverage the results of Lean. So you can simultaneously try, in any company where you want to achieve the improvement. And look at the success stories. Long back in 1980s, the numbers are impressive even today, and giving a promising information that we could also achieve huge savings even in today's time. So 6 sigma or lean 6 sigma is an operational excellence model. It will work well if driven from the top. It will work well if strategic planning exists. What is strategic planning? Strategic planning is a process of developing the goals and objectives, right, of the organization on a long-term basis. Do you understand? Strategic planning means developing the goals and objectives on a long-term basis. If all of you want to make 10 crores within 1 year, and it is very, very difficult to each one of us to achieve, isn't it? Straight away, earning 10 crore in 1 year, it's looks impossible, and then we lose interest. But if you want to, let's say, generate 10 crores in next 5 years, chances are there. Yes or no? Because we have a good time. We are giving ourselves the enough time to meet the goals. And normally 3 to 5 years plan are known as strategic plan. If such a plan exists, that means company exactly knows where they want to reach. We can help those companies very beautifully because they are very clear with the objectives. If they are lagging in that, the first job is to introduce strategic planning in such companies. Then only, if the plan is clear, if the goal is clear, objectives are clear, targets are available, now many problems, they will be able to understand. If the what do you call, if the destination is not clear, they will not understand the issues that are happening right now. They'll think that, they are traveling in the right speed, and they are traveling in the right direction. But the moment we mark the destination, they understand they are traveling in a zigzag manner. They understand they are moving in a slow manner. And hence, they will understand the need for accuracy and the need for the speed. They will understand the need for the, enhancing the quality, need for enhancing the productivity, as well as the cost and time targets, right? So Lean Six Sigma is an operational excellence model, aggressive campaign. Why do I say aggressive campaign? Everyone should participate now. Yes or no? If the requirement is big, just you and me cannot help a company. Everybody from security to CEO, everybody should participate in our campaign. And then, our company will start progressing towards the destination. So the result will be like profitability, market share, etc., etc., etc. All right. So now hope all of you understand what is Lean Six Sigma. And there are different belt levels created. Yellow belt, white belt, yellow belt, green belt, and black belt, and then champion and sponsor. White belt means awareness about Lean Six Sigma. I really appreciate all of you because we have not pushed you to join the program. You all joined on your own. That means even before coming here, you are a white belt. Can I consider like that? Because you are convinced about the benefits of Lean Six Sigma. That's why, you have decided yourself and you are participating in our program. But then that's not enough to participate in a project. To participate in a project, you must really, develop some more level of understanding so that you will start respecting the principles of Lean and Six Sigma, and you will also start respecting the importance of data. Because we are going to work with the statistics. Statistics means dealing with the data. If your data is of poor quality, then what happens? All your decisions will be of poor quality. Garbage in, garbage out. So as an yellow belt, you know the importance of data. You understand how challenging it is for your project team leader to deliver result, out of a complex project. The project is considered complex simply because nobody have any clarity about the root cause. No one in the company, they know what they don't know what is the root cause. And the problem is complex. At the same time, it is happening again and again and again. It's a problem is recurring in nature, and nobody has no clue about the root cause. And the project leader is trying to solve such problem. And so if you know that, I'm sure you will definitely give your cooperation, right? And you will try to help your project leader. Such a supporting role is known as yellow belt. Like how the nurses support the doctors while treating a patient. The yellow belt will support the project leaders while solving a problem. All of you understand the role of an yellow belt? Please confirm me.
Yes, sir.
One
Yes.
person only confirming. And
Yes, sir.
okay.
All good.
All right. So you can use the reaction button sometimes, if you want to respond, you can even use the reaction button. Learn everything. It's there. The options are there to respond to any such requirements. Okay. But yellow belt, you all know, it's a support role. You are a project team member. You need to support the project leaders properly. Whatever information they ask, you must give the right information. You must give the right data, right? Because already they are handling a complex case and you should not, increase the complexity with your act. All right. Then green belt and black belt means project leaders. Green belt and black belt means project leader. If you are part of the improvement initiative, if you are part of the department responsible for the improvement initiative, then you must necessarily be a black belt. That means your responsibility is improvement. Just all of you think about your current responsibility in your company. If your company is expecting you to improve the results as a full-time role, please understand, you are inside a department which is responsible for improvement. That means, let's say, you are part of the quality department. That means quality improvement is your job. All right. But if you are in support department, then you need to be a green belt. If you are in a department where improvement is your main responsibility, you are a manager or a leader, and every month the management expects you to improve something. And then you must necessarily be a black belt. That means a black belt is a full-time improvement agent. A green belt is a part-time improvement agent. For a black belt, every month management will be expecting a result. Every month management will be expecting an improvement. For a green belt, maybe once in 6 months. That means a green belt is expected to do 1 to 2 projects. A black belt is expected to do 6 to 8 projects in a year. Clear, all of you?
Okay. Understand, sir.
Clear.
Understand. But for any project to happen in any work environment, the support of the top management is important. The person who has the power to support an improvement project. Support an improvement project means he should provide resources. He should give the permission to work on the project. There are many things. And such a person is known as sponsor. He need not be a green belt. He need not be a black belt. He can be any belt or he can be a non-belt. But he should also be a supporter of Lean and Six Sigma principles. Then only he can come forward and support. And hence, a sponsor is the person who has the authority to approve a Six Sigma project. The person who is liaising between the sponsor and the project team, he is known as project champion. All of you understand all the terminology? Then
Yes,
who
sir.
is this fellow, Master Black Belt? He is someone who is like, the trainer within the company. Trainer within the company who can transform the employees into change agents. Transform each and every employee into a Six Sigma belt. He knows the importance of, having the goals, objectives, KPIs. He knows the importance of why the KPIs must be connected. If KPIs are not connected, departments will work in isolation. If KPIs are connected, then definitely they will start supporting each other. You will automatically start seeing, the process thinking, system thinking, building system and everything, you will see start happening. That means synergy will happen. If synergy happens, 1 plus 1 will not just be equal to 2, it will be equal to 11. The company will start seeing, results very, very faster if synergy happens. Everybody is working towards the organization's common goal, right? And goals are shared. So MBB is a person who will be working closely with the top management, part of the quality council, part of the operational excellence group, part of the business excellence group. Very, very instrumental in developing the KPIs and ensuring that the right projects are picked up, ensuring that the projects are supported, and you will also ensure that enough belts are available within the company. Every role is clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Very
I
good.
have a doubt in the previous slide. So, my doubt is, in my office, I'm actually working as a team lead for around 3 teams. So, they are expecting me to get a black belt.
Mm.
I mean, to manage all the teams to at the same time, because few people are working from US and few people are working in India. So I have to manage all the team, I mean all the people at the same time, where my job came under 24 into 7 in that manner. So in this case, my office is requesting me to complete a black belt. But in this scenario, since you are an expert in this one, so which one will you suggest will be the good thing for? Is that a green belt or a black belt, sir?
No, you already mentioned, no? Yes, you need to be a black belt because you are handling multiple projects simultaneously. You need to be a black belt, but how you acquire your black belt, it depends on your ability.
Okay.
You can directly become a black belt and learning everything from the basics and go up to the advanced level. That's no purely your capability. But if you doubt yourself, go step by step. Right?
Okay.
Because there are certain things which are common in nature.
Okay.
Right? The
Okay.
yellow belt is a subset of your green belt. The green belt is a subset of a black belt.
Okay. Okay.
So it depends on your ability to internalize the learning. If you could internalize well, while you are ready to work hard, yes, do everything in one go, not to worry. And then work on projects right after the program.
Can I
Got it,
come,
sir.
sir?
So the same explanations are given in Word format and you all can read. So what is Six Sigma? Six Sigma is a
Sir, can I
management.
come?
Yes, RK sir, please come.
1 second. Was it Bharat?
Yes, sir. It's me, sir.
Yeah, I tell you, I hope you will not mind me my answer, no, if it is little harsh, no, but it is all for the good intention. Clear?
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question, right?
Yes, sir.
I want to learn swimming, right?
Okay. Okay.
Should I go to my first floor and run, or should I go to the swimming pool and swim?
We have to go to the swimming pool and swim.
Right. You got the answer. Now you are very happy because I have asked you a very simple questions you have answered. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And I will tell you that I want you to become a black belt master, but you are still a green belt only. Why I am telling you? Because you have asked this question, Gopal Shukumar is very happy because he has given the answer. Simple question you ask, simple questions, anybody can answer his answer. I hope Shivakumar also will not mind me because he is also my student, right? Okay. Now I will tell you, think about the question that you are asking. Again, you have put the answer. Why I tell you that you are a good green belt for me? Because I want people like you only. People who go to the boss with the solution, boss will always like. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
If you go always with the problem to the boss, will the boss like you? No.
No. No.
Always because he does not know the answer. So you go with an answer, you come with an answer now because you have given all the points. Sir, it is difficulty. The management is asking me to cover all the people, all the departments. And it should be obviously you must be a black belt. Yes or no?
Okay. Okay. I get it, sir. I get it now.
Thank you very much. I think you got it. I want you to come to that level. I think by the
Yes,
end
sir.
of the course, you will know what you should ask, what you should think, and then how you should behave and all these things. Thank you very much for a
Thank you,
wonderful
sir.
opportunity to explain. All the others also. The simple fact that is what I told you in the morning, that you know it yourself. It is inbuilt in your brain, mind, right? We only want to bring that out that you know it. Please know, you know it.
Yes, sir.
You know the leadership, right? You are the leadership. Only thing is you don't know that you don't have that. You don't know that you are the leadership. Thank you very much, sir. Over to
Thank you.
Gopal Sharma.
So what we do is we will stop here for a little break because
Yeah, whatever RK gives will be
it's